pandemic right here in Huntsville. Every night at 6, we are taking you deeper into the impact of the coronavirus through conversations with local leaders and experts. Tonight, we're joined by Huntsville Mayor Tommy Battle. Thanks for joining us again tonight on the show.
Glad to.
It's been 6 weeks now. Life looks a lot different for all of us. What has changed for you? We're curious. How's coronavirus impacted you and your family?
You know, it's a different world out there. You know, our world changed real quick about 8 weeks ago. And now we're sitting at home waiting to have meetings. We meet a lot more by Zoom now. We have conference calls. Mrs. Battle and I have caught up on talking to each other and also having time to watch TV together.
Yeah, those are just some. What other adjustments have you had to make, and how stressful is life now, the job specifically?
You know, it's one of those things you're constantly thinking about, and everybody is right now. You know, you're thinking about what moves you need to make to stay ahead of the curve and make sure that we as a community do the right kind of thing and think ahead. It's a 24/7, but that's what you signed up for. That's what you should be doing right now.
Yeah, good point. All right, now, the current Safer at Home order extends until May 15th. What is your opinion on the Safer at Home order?
Well, you know, we made up our own kind of reopen plan and sent it down to the governor's office. The only thing that it had in there that this one does not have is a little bit more requirements to let restaurants and some of the personal services businesses open, and make sure that, you know, we had a lot of protections in there for people, so that you're protecting both the workers in the restaurant and the general public. That's the key difference in that is the personal services and the restaurants.
So your timeline would have included opening restaurants and personal services like that, you said, a little bit sooner than later.
It probably would have been end of this week, starting to open those, but I mean, very limited. Starting to open with 25% of occupancy, waiters, servers, and kitchen crew, and everybody else had to wear gloves and masks. You know, and even go as far as asking the people coming in. Just to start us off on a roll. That would have been phase one. And phase one and phase two and phase three, each of them get a little bit more lenient as we go along.
Explain the hierarchy for us here. Now, are you waiting for the governor? Do you follow her lead, or do the cities have the latitude to make these decisions on their own?
As I've told everybody, Governor Trump's mayor, and you know, in this kind of case, I do think it is important that we have a statewide policy. If you know, we're not an island among ourselves. We connect to Marshall County, we connect to Franklin County, we connect to Morgan County, and you know, and we need to be connected to the whole state. The state needs to move together, and we're going to follow the governor's guidelines.
Mm-hmm. What kind of things do you think you need to see before Huntsville starts to reopen even more businesses?
You know, I think we've had a good start right here, but you know, our wait and see is a 7 to 10 day period. Once we've started to open retail like we did last Friday, and go through a weekend and everything, we need 7 to 10 days to see what the results of that is, and how much it affects us with how many additional people get COVID-19. We know that we're going to have a few more people get it, just because we have more people getting together. But it's kind of a wait and see. This weekend, we were monitoring the parks, we were monitoring downtown, we were monitoring Bridge Street, all the places that people gathered. We were monitoring those to see how people did. And quite frankly, it wasn't perfect, but I thought it was pretty good. People were trying to keep social distances and everything. They weren't wearing masks, but when you're outside, you may not need to wear a mask. But when you go to the Publix and the Lowe's and the retail shops that you can't control your people within 6 feet of you, you need to wear masks in those cases.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. So from your observations, people are doing a pretty good job at social distancing, even with this relaxed order.
You know, we had policemen on bicycles down in the downtown area. They gave us a report at the end of it. We rode around and tried to, you know, get some observations there, and got observations from others who were out there, the Parks and Recs guys, as they were opening up Parks and Recs on a very limited basis. As we looked at it, people were doing what we were asking them to do. Most of them. There are always a couple of cases.
Always a few exceptions, that's for sure.
Yes, there are.
Talk to me about your relationship, the city's relationship with the medical system. Are you consulting with Huntsville Hospital, Crestwood, other local health officials about making coronavirus decisions down the road?
we're very fortunate here. We have a meeting every morning at 11 o'clock. We have a phone conference that we all get on. Alabama Department of Public Health has at least one of their representatives on there, maybe two. The Huntsville Hospital, usually the CEO from Huntsville Hospital, David Spillers, is on there. The CEO of Crestwood Hospital, Pam Hudson's on there. And as we make decisions about this, the local governments come together with the emergency responders, with the medical team, to make sure that we're making the right decisions for the area. They give us boots on the ground, what they're seeing in the hospitals, because that's really the most important thing out of this. COVID has so many people who get COVID-19, but how many go to the hospital? How many are on ventilators?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I'm going to go back quickly to the social distancing thing. Monday, the Madison County Chairman Dale Strong and the CEO of Crestwood Medical Center, Dr. Pam Hudson, they both gave the people of Madison County a barely passing grade of C when it comes to social distancing. So how would you grade the people of Huntsville?
I think from what I saw, we were in the B range, and I expected to be in the B range, maybe B minus even, but the whole thing is people have been, for 6 weeks, they've been in their house and they finally have a pretty weekend. They start to get out. They're going to go out and do something. As long as they're out in the parks and they're walking the trails and they're doing things that don't have a direct connection to someone else, that's a great thing. If you went by some of the home improvement stores and some of the big box, you would see people out front lined up, but trying to keep separated by 6 feet from each other. And, as long as we're trying to do this and trying to do it right, I'm in the B range right now.
Yeah. What would you like to see improved? Is there anything specific that you think would help make improvements as the city?
I think in some of the big boxes, more masks would help. I did not see that many people on Saturday wearing masks as they went into Lowe's or Home Depots or Walmarts or some of those. They weren't wearing the masks to the degree I thought they should be. But Monday there was quite a few people having masks. So it just depends on when and where you are, and we get a snapshot of this thing. But the snapshots are what help us make some of the decisions.
Yeah, and local leaders, are they obligated to set an example, do you think, during a time like this? And do you wear a mask when you're out?
When I go down the elevator, I wear a mask because I can't control that. People might be within 6 feet. If I go to a Publix or I go to one of the other big stores or big box stores, I wear a mask at that time. Mm-hmm. When I'm in my car, I take it off. It's hot. So I take off my mask while I'm in my car, but I'm the only one in there. So I'm protected.
All right. Thanks, Mayor. Stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at the impact on unemployment in North Alabama.